we'll have to take some other tactics.
All right, that should be it. That should be it right there. I turn on the fucking do not disturb, all of that shit. So
excellent.
maybe,
all right, so guys, let us know if you can hear both of us, because we want to make sure that you're not missing these gems. You just missed. App just told me in a moment of brilliance I've never heard before, the secret to life, and he said he would never repeat it again. So it sucks that you guys missed that.
Sorry.
Yeah, it was so personal and vulnerable. Right at the end, he was like, "And I can never repeat this again." You know that, right?
Yeah,
I was like,
I was sworn to only say it once, deliver that information once.
Well, since we all got those gems and we're all better people for it now, I guess we can move on. Shout out to our tech support, aka the chat, who's just weighing in and letting us know. So yeah, Styles of Beyond, shout out to them. You were talking about the fact that you love working with other people. You love the chemistry of writing in groups. It's just, you know, that's made you the artist that you are, for sure.
Right. Absolutely.
All right, we're going to move on to the final question in our fourth round. This rapper directed the music video for Pharoah Monch's Simon Says. Was it Mos Def, RZA, Busta Rhymes, or Q-Tip? We're going.
I should know this. I know everything about Monch, man.
Well, let's talk it out. Let talk it out here and
all right.
sort of walk.
I'm gonna say it was not Mos Def. It was definitely not Mos Def. I'm gonna also say it was not Q-Tip, because Q-Tip is a very elusive person, so I don't think you can nail him down for something like that. I'm gonna say
you're getting a lot of different names in the chat too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's very post-apocalyptic and it's very high-end, so it almost makes me think it was RZA because of the time period. You know what I'm saying? Because RZA had, you know, it wasn't too much longer after like Triumph and all that shit, and like, you know, I don't know if RZA did like the Method Man's Judgment Day and all that shit, but I'm gonna go with B, RZA, because that seems like the most logical answer.
Okay, yeah, there was post-apocalyptic vibes. You know, you're a huge Monch fan, as you pointed out as well. Getting a lot of different answers in the chat, so the chat is of no use to you, because if you were looking for a unanimous answer, these guys are all over the place. So let's see what the answer is. The answer is Busta Rhymes was the music video director on Simon Says. Listen, fuck a score. I mean, you're doing fine right now anyway, but like, if we can impart, like if we can teach you something about your favorite artist, it's a win all around. But
it's a win for everybody.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes directed the Pharoah Monch music video. You said you're a huge Monch fan, and anybody, you know, like the track record is there. What is your favorite Monch joint? And is it like Organized Confusion, or is it more like solo work? Like, what do you think is like, or let me rephrase this. You want to put somebody on who either is a young head or somebody who maybe just slept. What are the top 3 Pharoah joints that you're like, yo, start here? Like these 3 songs, you know?
Releasing Hypnotical Gases, Bring It On, and Stray Bullet. Those are the 3 that I kind of paint the imagery for. You know what I mean? Yeah, those records right there are the craziest, and it's like that kind of just shows the level that Monch is on, because initially, in what I actually do put people on like that, and I'll tell them like, yo, I'll play Releasing Hypnotical Gases, and I'm like, this, you gotta understand, this was written in like 1989 or 1990. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was when it was written. And then when I play them, you know, Bring It On, they hear the lyricism. That's the type of lyricism that influenced Eminem and guys like that. They all give props about that. They all say that. And then when I play Stray Bullet, it shows the story writing, you know, and that's where I even feel like Nas got inspired off that to make I Gave You Power, you know. So that was crazy. I remember that's probably my #1 favorite album of all time, you know.
Organized Confusion.
Yeah, Stress the Extinction Agenda. I have an unreal collection of it in all forms. It is really fucking impressive.
Wait, you have to expound on that. What do you mean, like an unreal collection?
I have tons of cassettes signed by them. I have an old poster signed by them. I have the vinyl. I have tons of the vinyl. I have motherfucking
Uh-oh, we're about to take a tour.
Yeah. Hold up, I'll show you. I'll show you my organized. So here's my wall of fame, right?
Woo!
I got a lot of legendary joints on here. And then, wait, do I have? Hold on one second. Let me see here. Here's one. Here, that's an original. There's another
Wow.
original. This is signed by Nas, Pete Rock, Premier, Large Professor, and that's it. And then this was signed by Monch and Poe.
Wow.
And, that's signed by RZA and Danny Hastings. Let me see. And then I also have. Here we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. The fucking all the different. I got 100 of these little. I got 100 of the real CDs too. These are like the repress.
Oh, wow.
This is the 45. I got all the stickers. I have tons of the cassettes. I got 700 cassettes in my closet. I got the test press joint. I got tons of test presses of Stress. But I got 8 T-shirts. I'm fanatical about it, man. I'm fanatical about the Stress album. It's definitely my favorite joint.
I can tell. Are you that way about other albums too? Like,
Nah.
No, so it's just Stress.
Yeah, just Stress, the Extinction Agenda. That's the one.
I learned something new about you today, App.
Yeah, man. That was the one that did it for me. Everything on that album came together perfectly. And it's funny because Monch is now like my friend. Like him and I were on the phone 3 times today, and it was barely about rap shit. You know what I mean? Like we're like friends. And that's surreal to me. That's the craziest thing in the world because he's my number one top idol since I was like 12, 13 years old, you know?
That's incredible. That's got to be like a pinch me moment. He is, without a doubt, one of the best MCs to ever do it, you know, like, and I mean, that's crazy. I'm sorry, I'm still processing how many copies of Stress you have.
I didn't want to bore you or be crazy either, so I chilled it out because there's like a lot more. There's like mad CDs. There's the Stress CD single, which is the Stress, the song CD single, which is super rare. I got the cassette singles, all that shit. It's crazy.
I'm glad you did that because, yeah, we definitely are bored by hip-hop here on the questions. No, get the fuck out of here. That's amazing. That's incredible. I also like that you had it readily available. It wasn't just like, oh, yeah, like I'd have to dig it up. It's like, oh, you want to see my crazy Stress collection? Like,
if I would have known when Destroy, you know, Destroy does that game where like,
show your gems.
When I did that with him, I brought over all because they're in my house. I have all my Organized Confusion fucking shirts and all that. I brought them all over here and shit. It's crazy.
Incredible. If you're just joining us, we got Apathy. He at the end of the game, he's going to be showing us his Stress tattoo on his stomach, like the Tupac style.
Right.
Small font because it's Stress, the extinction level, you know, like extinction agenda. All right, we're going to move on to our second round. Picasso Baby.
By the way, that's one of my favorite songs of the last like 10 years.
Picasso Baby.
Oh my God. That fucking Timberland joint. Oh my God. Timberland is a unbelievable beast. That's one of my favorite records.
The beat is nuts. You know, we were talking about Primo earlier. I always kind of saw that track almost as a nod to Primo. It has a very like Primo feel, you know?
I can hear that. I can hear that for sure.
We will sometimes play the video on our Twitch, and our fans have a contentious relationship with that video because a lot of fans don't like that video. Like, I don't know if you remember it. It was Jay in an art museum, like sort of performing, but like in the crowd. Like, I don't know if you saw it or you remember it.
I don't remember that one. Is it the one with that weird Marina Abramovich?
Yep.
Fuck her, man. She's a fucking wacko. She's a devil. Something about her is creepy and evil. Fuck her. I don't know what Hove's thinking going into a museum hanging out with that bitch, but fuck that bitch straight up.
I didn't see the pendulum swinging like that where 30 seconds ago you were like, that's a really dope song. I love that. So you know what? Fuck that video. Like, fuck that. That shit is weird as fuck. but listen, we all contain multitudes. It's fine. We're going to move
Right.
on. So in this round, Picasso Baby, I show you a small piece of an album cover, and you have to
Okay.
identify what it is by the piece that you see. So here we go. The first one is this Bahamadia collage.
Bahamadia collage.
Oh, he knows right away. And he is correct. That is Bahamadia collage.
Classic album. Love Bahamadia.
Group mate, sort of. You guys were group mates, and am I correct that she was in Army of the Pharaohs?
When she was doing Army of the Pharaohs, I was starting up with Self, so I wasn't active at that time in Army of the Pharaohs. Army of the Pharaohs, actually, before she even joined, Army of the Pharaohs was going to be a group with me and Vin and a whole bunch of people called Tibetan Black Magicians, and it just didn't end up happening. But yeah, man, she's dope, and I'll tell you, actually, y'all can harass Bahamadia because she's sitting on a really fire verse that I did for her. She hit me up for a verse, and she's got a verse. I don't know what she's doing. She's taking her time, which is good.
Yeah,
she's crafting something really good. But she's had this verse for me that's incredible for a minute. But that's one of my favorite albums. I love Bahamadia so much.
So dope. Former guest of the show. She's a great person, and yeah,
right.
She's amazing. Not just as an MC, but just as a person. She's really dope. All right, doing good so far. Here is the next one. Is this Company Flow, Little Johnny from the Hospital, Mr. Lift, I Phantom, Murs, The End of the Beginning, or Jean Grey, Attack of the Attacking Things? We're going underground now.
Holy shit. Let me see that fucking thing. I'm going to say it's not Little Johnny from the Hospital. It's definitely not that. I can't remember. I remember it's not Mr. Lift, I Phantom. I don't think it was Jean Grey, Attack of the Attacking Things, because I think I remember the cover for that shit. I'm gonna say, wasn't Jean Grey's album the one with the fucking the red cover with the drawn? It was like an Indian. I think it's C, Murs, because it's definitely not Lift. It's Little Company Flow was the wacky little doll with the paper bag on its head.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I'm gonna say C out of Process of Elimination.
Process of Elimination is a great way to go, because guess what, folks? That is Murs' The End of the Beginning.
Okay, dope. That's dope. I love Murs. He's amazing.
We love Murs too. He's a fan of the show, friend of the show, former guest on the show as well. What, are there artists that you, and I'm not saying this to single out Murs, even though Murs and Apathy joint would be, super dope. Are there any artists at this point in your career that you haven't worked with that you really would like to? Like, aside from like, I'd love to be on a joint with Nas or Jay-Z, is there anybody that you feel like would not be like necessarily a miracle, but like it would be dope if it happened?
Yeah, I wanna do a song with both guys. See, that's my dream thing is to form group, like get the actual groups in their totality. Like I want an all Cypress Hill feature. I want an EPMD feature. I want a Das Effects feature. Another rapper who I'm dying with like bucket list shit is Brother J from X Clan. That's one of my favorite of all times, easily. Who's another person I'm trying to think of? Who the fuck else? That's a big one for me though, brother. But me and Stu Bangers have an album coming out in the second half of the year, because I'm dropping an album in May called Where the River Meets the Sea. But in the second half of the year, Stu Bangers produced an album for me, and I got two of my bucket list features. I got Jadakiss and I got Black Thought on that album. Yeah, so those are two bucket lists for me. And also on the album I'm dropping in the first quarter of the year, I got one song that has Styles P and Lil Fame on it, which is a huge deal to me. And that song is incredible. But yeah, Brother J would be a fucking unbelievable guest appearance for me. And also I really love Del the Funky Homo Sapien, was a really, really, really huge influence on me. So that would be another person.
Del's style, I mean, like, I hate using the word underrated, because it feels so played out, and always kind of feels like a backhanded compliment to some people. But like Del had so much style on those albums in a way that like like you could see where he was kind of connecting to like maybe other people who had done things in the past, but like he took it and just spun it in his own way. And I just feel like Del's voice on those like first like really the first 3 or 4 like projects that he did is just like you could take a master class and just like the voice as an instrument, like what Del was doing.
No Need for Alarm, his second album, easily one of my top albums of all time. Like unbelievably, like that album is so incredible and was such a massive influence on me. It was unbelievable, that album.
Yeah, I was talking to Dante Ross the other day about this, and he was just saying how, like, you know, that album is like a super kind of a left turn from the first Del album. Like, it
Right.
really set the blueprint for like underground rap in a lot of ways. But he was telling me that like he actually suggested to Del that they put more choruses on some of the songs because the songs were so just like rap,
Cut
rap,
heavy.
rap, 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 rap. And he told me that, and I was like, I don't even think that, like, I don't think of No Need for Alarm as a real, like, hooky album. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So just
it's funny when they welcomed Del to Clubhouse, Domino was in there, Festo and Tajay, and Dante was in there, and Dante was telling a lot of really fascinating stories. And you know, the 14-year-old in me was losing my mind. Like, it was absolutely incredible. And it's funny because Del and I patched things up in that thing because when I was, here's a funny thing, I don't want to go too long, but when I was a teenager, I was a part of this crew, Alien Nation, with Supernatural and all those guys.
Yeah.
And I ended up, they put me in contact with A+ from Souls of Mischief because I was going to interview him on my radio show I had at the time. So
Okay.
A+ and I became friends, and we would chop it up on the phone, and I'd freestyle for them. And I remember like freestyling for Del over the phone, and Del thought I was nice and all this. But one day I called them up, and Del started tripping on me and talking shit to me. He was like, yo, I don't even know why you're calling here. You a buster. And I'm like, because this is one of my favorite MCs in the world. So like, I'm like, inside my heart was breaking, but I just started talking shit back to him. I'm like, man, fuck you. Because, you know, I'm popping shit back. So anyway, Del wasn't aware of that this whole time. And I think I told Domino. And then so when we got into the Clubhouse room, Del was like, yo, App, I'm sorry, man. I don't even remember that shit. I said, no, it's all good, man. You can do no wrong to me. I love you forever. So
as a single tear comes down your face. It's cool, Del. It's all good.
Right.
I've never told this story before. This is sort of a sidebar, but since you brought it up, I was in college and Hyro was on tour and they came to my college. They were doing like, there was a record store and they were doing like signings, and I was in a group in college and I had my demo there. I was producing and I was rapping a little bit at the time too. And, you know, this was like one of my first experiences of the classic demo pass off, which we all know has worked maybe like at 1% of the time for anybody.
Right.
And so I'm waiting in the line. I'm getting my Hyro record signed, and then I kind of have this moment, and I pass the demo. I think I passed it to Casual. I was like, yeah, here's my group's demo. Blah, blah, like, you know, check it out. Let me know, like, if you like it, you know, if you don't like it, whatever. And Del was signing a poster, and he looked up at me, and he said, well, why would I hit you up if I don't like it? It was like,
yo, I gotta show you something too. Hold up, let me show you something funny. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
Here we go. All right, check this out.
What? Demigodz. This is some early shit.
Oh God, yeah. That's me and Open Mic, man. That's me and Open Mic when we fucking we're branching out and shit. But the funny thing, here's the funny shit. 860 United. But the funny thing is, I had a chance to hang out with Rakim, and Rakim really did some dope shit for me. And he heard me rap, so he took me. I chilled with them on their tour bus for like 3 shows in the Connecticut and Boston area. And when we went on the tour bus, there was a few people there. There was this legendary guy named Bill Blass, and Blass ended up getting murdered not too, I forget how long ago, but Blast was a tour manager. He used to also manage for Cool G Rap. He was like in the fucking what is it? Street fucking what is that? The Cool G Rap song. The having a brain fart. I know it really well.
Yeah, so somebody in the chat will remind us. I'm blanking out on it right now too.
Right. So Bill Blast was in that video. And anyway, so I fucking go on the bus with them, and Rakim, I give the demo to Rakim, and Rakim just took it and like kind of like chucked it haphazardly, and it like bounced in the corner of the couch on the tour bus, and I'm like, ah. Fuck, not the streets in the Ill Street Blues. I don't know why I couldn't think of that.
Street Blues. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, and he even says, Cool G Rap says, you'll be as crispy as my, oh no, I'm sorry. Fucking Large Professor said, you'll be as crispy as my man Bill Blast. And that was who he was talking about. But anyway, so Rakim tossed it on the couch, and I saw it like bounce to the corner. So as we're hanging out on the tour bus, I kind of like slowly made my way over and took the tape and put it up more in view by the tape player. You know what I'm saying? Like I picked it up and like intentionally put it closer so it didn't get tossed by the wayside. You know,
you got to secure, make sure that it gets to its final destination.
Right. Right.
I thought you were going to say that you just were going to put it back in your pocket, because it's like, well, if he's going to throw the demo, let me at least not waste it. Yeah?
Nah, Izzy, it's not the wrong song. I'm talking about he was in the video for Ill Street Blues, but then Large Pro said, you'll be as crispy as my man Bill Blast on another song. I'm just talking about where he got referenced.
There it goes. Listen, we don't need to edit Apathy here. He knows what he's talking about. He's got his stories going here.
Right.
All right, we're going to move on to the final question in our second round. What album is this? Is it Freeway, Philadelphia Freeway, Xzibit, At the Speed of Life, MC Light, Eyes on This, or is it UGK, Riding Dirty?
It's not A and it's not C. That looks like some Speed of Life shit. I mean, I know the Xzibit album cover well. I just don't know if that's like a zoomed in part.
Well, it's a zoomed in part of something, but you know.
Right. I don't think it's the Freeway cover, because I remember that shit too. I'm gonna go with B, Xzibit, The Speed of Life.
Xzibit, The Speed of Life.
Yeah, see the blue part? I remember the blue part up there.
Sometimes it's just about recognizing the color palette, and you could be like, okay, that kind of seems like it would fit.
Right.
Xzibit's another, you know, we're talking about West Coast MCs just incidentally. He's another guy who, you know, I feel like he's somehow kind of underrated as well, because he had a lot of commercial success, which I think is like, can often be the poison to people's like perception of somebody. They're like, he's just the guy who did this. He had this show. These Xzibit records are crazy, you know, like in his prowess. You worked with him as well, right?
Xzibit's a good friend of mine, man. Like I hang out with X when we go to LA, and Xzibit and I are both gun enthusiasts. We're both firearm enthusiasts, and he's a little next level than I can be, especially budget wise. You know what I mean? But we're both on the same page. A funny story: Xzibit almost killed me one time because we were hanging out at Cypress Hill Studio, and he wanted to show me his new car. So we get in his new car. In LA, the industrial parts of the valley. There'll be a lot of streets where it's very narrow and there's cars parked on each side. So we get in his car and he wants to show me and open this shit up. And first of all, when he took off in the car, it put me in back in the seat. Like it had so much power that it fucking put me back. But we're like flying in this industrial area with his cars, and his car's almost coming out. And if somebody would have hit us or something, we would have just been disintegrated. We were going so fast. So all I can think about in my head, though, is the headline for this, like Xzibit killed with unnamed person. And you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not as famous as Xzibit. And that's what my thought was. I'm like, man, if you kill me, I'm going to be outshined so hard. No one's going to give a fuck about my death, man. Chill out.
If you're worried about the headlines, you want to never get into a dangerous vehicle with someone who has more clout than you. You know, it's
right. That afternoon was funny too, because X was like, we were eating sushi, and X was like, we were a little bit north in Cali, and
Yeah.
X was like, "Yo, let's go to Vegas. You want to go to Vegas?" We were with a bunch of people, and I was like, "I don't want to drive that fucking far. I don't want to get a car for 4.5 something hours." And he's like, "Nah, we're just gonna take the jet." And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" So we were gonna go, but I had a studio session later on that evening. But we were gonna just take a jet to Vegas with Xzibit, and I'm like, "You're a wacko, dude."
I mean, look,
He's a great guy. I love him. Love
you
him.
had the fast car situation. You got the jet. He already told us on the first album he moves at the speed of life. Like that's
right.
just
That's not an exaggeration.
it's not an exaggeration. It's a mind state. It's you know.
He's in our Demigodz Raiders cap video, and he's wearing this fucking Kevlar fucking mask that can literally take a gunshot to the mask, and it's unbelievable.
Good to know. Good to know. All right, you did great on that second round. I've now made it to the third round, and the third round is called Digging in the Crates. So this is the sample round. So this is all about samples. I'm going to play you a sample, ask you a question, and let's get into it. All right. In 2012, Mac Miller was sued by this artist over the use of his instrumental on the song Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza. So I will play.
It's
you.
that's my friend B, Lord Finesse.
He knows it already. I'm just going to play it for the benefit of the people.
Anyway.
Hey, Kool-Aid and Frozen Pizza. It's the work of art. I ain't like a Mona Lisa. I'm to the game.
Woo! Lord Finesse is correct.
Yeah.
Classic. Rest in peace, Mac Miller. Obviously, that was a these things happen. You know, if you're not clearing things on mixtapes, they can shit can get a little awry. Have you had a lot of like snafus with samples and things in your career, or how do you navigate that as like an indie artist?
I don't have any comment about that, but however, what's interesting is Joey Badass. When I was living with Ryu from Styles of Beyond, who's one of my closest friends in the entire world, I was living with at his house with him and his family in LA for a while, just because we were working on so much shit. I just went out there and stayed. But when I was out at Ryu's house, all of a sudden somebody called us up and was like, "Yo, somebody rhymed to Styles of Beyond Survival Tactics, and it's blowing up."
Yep.
And I was like, "What?" And both Ryu and I were like, "That's wild." And it was Joey Badass, but we welcomed him with open arms, man. And that was before he really popped off. We loved what he did over it.
Yeah, it happens a bunch. Like I want to say, was it Mr. Motherfucking Esquire? Wasn't that a necro beat? Like the drunk driving on a Wednesday. What was the shit called?
Oh, I'm not hip to that. I'm not hip to that.
I believe it was called. What was the song called? I forget. But his breakthrough song, and he did like a remix with like Despot and Danny Brown and LP on it. It was over, I think, a necro beat. So shit gets moved around, and it's dope to kind of see when people do that. It's paying homage and reintroducing music to a new audience.
Right. I got I have a song. I mean, this isn't the same thing, but I have a song on my next album, Where the River Meets the Sea. The song is totally me paying homage to Brother J. I'm like doing Brother J style intentionally to kind of put kids up on it, and also for me to pay respect to him, out of love.
That's dope, and it might get you a little closer to that guest feature.
Maybe, man, maybe. Fingers crossed.
All right, great job on that. We're gonna move on to the second question in this round. R&B singer Eddie Holman's 1977 song "It's Over" was sampled on a song by this Wu-Tang member. So I will play you the Eddie Holman song. Here we go.
Oh, Ghost. Yeah, that's Ghostface. That's from Iron Man. I mean, from Supreme Clientele.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? What's up? Ghostface.
Classic.
Woo!
Classic.
Scientific. My hand kissed it. Robotic. Let's think optimistic. You probably missed it. Watch me dolly dip it. Scotty Waddy copper tip it. Microphone. Hippie hippo kipsy. Crispy chicken. Oh my God, man.
So you've heard of him.
Chop the O, sprinkle a little snow inside of Optimo, swing the John Mac and roll, rap, rock and roll, tighty bow, gun hole pro, Starsky with the gum soul, Patone Stizzy really high. God, that fucking record, bro.
It's that's another, like, we're talking about people who just like ooze style. That's like a style record that like sort of like put this line in the sand, and then like everybody would like there's a before and after on that. Like his style that he like really brandished on that song and in that era is like unfuckwithable.
Right, 1000%. I think that's what a lot of people miss, is that there's something to say about just hold on, Mike, there we go. There's something to say just about, you know, just flossing on something and ice skating on a track. It's like he's doing figure eights on that shit. You know what I mean? It's smooth. He's levitating on, he's moonwalking all over that fucking beat. It's just crazy.
That the ice skating on a track is the perfect way to put that. Yeah, it is just like effortless, killing it. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, we're gonna move on to the final question in this round.
Okay.
Lee Dorsey's "The Greatest Love" was sampled by this group on their 2000 single. So I will play you the Lee Dorsey.
Huh? Okay.
Here we go. That's not it.
Oh, nope.
No, hold on a second. Let me make sure.
Oh, De La Soul.
Ball inside the spray can, provided 3 coats, 4 boats, child, woman, and man. Got best to go, many streets, wall and go.
Can probably play that in its entirety without fear of getting shut down, because none of that music is on streaming.
Yeah, right. So yeah, they're not picking it up.
It's the De La hack. Another crazy, you know, obviously influential group. Were you a big De La fan?
Hell yeah, absolutely. And you know, it's funny because I was a De La fan since the very beginning, but my favorite album, which may not necessarily be super popular, is Balloon Mind State. That's my specific favorite album.
That is my favorite as well. See, this is why we've got a little bit of a hip hop connection going on right now.
Right. And you know it's interesting too, who I would love to connect you with, is Shorty Nomas, who's a good friend of mine too. She's so dope.
We're gonna get, there's a part in the show where I ask you who you think we should have on next. So
okay. I'll wait
there. That's a little preview. So App, we've made it now to the final round, and our final round is called Time's Up. This is our speed round. So we're you know, you're gonna get flashbacks to being in the whip with Xzibit right now.
Okay.
So in this round, you will have 90 seconds to answer 5 questions in the category of your choice. These are the categories of tonight: All About 1989, Got Milk, or Car Talk. So you pick the category, and you will have 90 seconds to answer 5 questions, non-multiple choice.
What the fuck is Got Milk?
So it's all questions about, they're all sort of milk related. Milk is in there, you know.
Milk is chilling.
Milk is chilling. Exactly. So
Car Talk.
Yeah, Car Talk, Milk, or All About 1989. Since you are episode 1989, you know, it felt appropriate.
Let me go with God damn. I'm really interested in Got Milk, man. I hope I don't regret this one. Let's go with Got Milk.
Okay, he's going Got Milk, and you know what? I applaud people who don't always take the safe route. You
safe route for me would be 89, and I'm just like, come on, man. I want to.
All right, yeah, that's fine. So you're going with Got Milk, and so let me just go over the rules here. 90 seconds. They're not multiple choice, so just blurt out the answer. But if you don't know the answer, say pass, and we'll go back to it. If you answer the question incorrectly, though, that question is done. So
okay.
You can use the chat. Obviously, they're here to help you out. I have OC's Time's Up, and it's timed here to 90 seconds. So when we stop hearing OC, your time will be up. So Apathy, you ready to do this?
Let's go.
All right, he's doing Got Milk, folks. I'm curing it up here. Here we go. Who was the lead rapper in the group Audio 2?
Milk D.
That is correct. Black Sheep penned this record dedicated to
Similac Child.
Similac Child is correct. In 2004, this Queens duo released their album Milk Me.
Pass.
All right, he's going to pass. This Dreamville artist released his 3rd album, Milky Way, in 2018.
What artist?
This Dreamville artist on J. Cole's label.
Pass. I have no idea.
Okay, we'll pass. Okay, rapper producer Black Milk teamed up with these two rappers in 2011 for the supergroup Random Acts?
Oh fuck! I should know this. I should know this. Pass. I should know that though.
Okay, well, we got to go back then because those are the questions. So it was a Queens duo in 2000.
Beatnuts.
Beatnuts is correct. All right. A Dreamville artist released his third album, Milky Way, in 2018. You either know it or you don't. I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea.
All right. So who was in Random Acts with Black Milk? It was two MCs.
Fuck. Guilty Simpson.
Guilty Simpson is one of them.
And
he's deceased. I'll give you a clue. He's deceased.
Is it? Not.
Look at the chat. The chat's dropping some clues as well if you want.
Sean P. Okay.
Sean P. is correct.
Word. Okay.
Sean
Word.
P. and Guilty Simpson were in Random Acts with Black Milk. Our time is up there. The other artist, the Dreamville artist, put out his album 2018. The rapper Boss, B-A-S, Boss.
I've never heard of that. No disrespect at all to that person. I have no idea.
He already said he's a rapper. He doesn't have time to listen to a lot of rap music. App, I'm going to total up your score, but I want you to know that no matter what happens, you are a champion in our eyes here.
Okay.
If you have questions for Apathy, App, if you have some time, we could do a little Q&A.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
All right, so I'm totaling up your score here, but while I do that, I want to know, this is the part of the show. I teased that before. Now that you've been on the questions, who is somebody that you know that you nominate to come on next? Who should we hit up? You know, it helps if it's somebody that you can put the word in for us. Don't say like, you know, Big Daddy unless you know Big Daddy. Yeah.
I think Pharaoh Monch would enjoy this.
Bro, we would enjoy Pharaoh Monch. So like, let's just, yeah, that would be amazing.
All right, let me try to holler at him. I'll put in a word.
Oh, dude, appreciate that. So, App, I've totaled up your score here, and you have scored a total of 12 out of 15. Now, let me tell you who you're in the club with. 12 out of 15.
Okay.
12 out of 15. Former guests of the show who have scored that high include Cosmo Baker, DJ Revolution, RJD2, Peter Rosenberg, Bun B, Nikki Jean, Milo the Cat, the guy who does all of those hip hop memes.
Right.
I just want you to know that you're in good shape there.
I'm in very good company right there, man. Those are all very adept individuals in hip hop.
We don't have suckers on the question. So like everybody is hip hop royalty, and you are in great place. You know, there you're with hip hop royalty. You are hip hop royalty as far as we're concerned.
Thank you so much.
Let's get into some questions. We have them here in the chat. I'll pull some up.
Okay.
Only one Andy B asked, what inspires you to go so hard in life? You are very prolific. You've had a crazy career of a lot of records. And, you know, I'm sure you've noticed that a lot of your peers are not always, a lot of people fall off and they stop being active. So what inspires you to go so hard?
I came from nothing, man. I came from teenage parents who my whole family were economically destitute. And, you know, I didn't come from a background where it's sink or swim. I could have been, you know, not doing as well, and a lot of my friends are in a really hurt way, and they don't have their lives together. So for me, it was either work my ass off and focus on everything, or be fucked up. So I was the type of guy where if it was New Year's Eve and everybody else was out at a party or going out on the weekends, I was in the studio every fucking weekend. And there was a lot of guys who I started off with early in Demigodz where I'd be like, yo, let's finish this record. Let's do it. And they'd be like, nah, I got to go to New Britain. I'm going to hang out this weekend and go to this party. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Let's go. So the only person who matched my work ethic, if not exceeded it, was Self-Titled, you know, and me and Self, we linked up and that was it. We were like the two motherfuckers in Contra, just burn, you know what I'm saying? And we just went for it. And that's what it was. But I grew up on welfare and government cheese, and I grew up in a hard time. And to be honest, I got a lot of work ethic from my father too. My father used to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to hitchhike mad far away to go work a fucking job as a welder. You know what I'm saying? Like hitchhiking when he was like 18, 19 years old because I was born. You know, so that's pretty ill, and that instilled a lot of work ethic in me, you know. So I think that's what it is that makes me want to go hard, you know.
Absolutely, that makes sense. Now my follow-up question is like, are those all are there habits in there that you've had to unlearn because like we sort of as we get older, it's like you can't work all the time. Like, is that like a balance, or do you still sort of feel like you're driven by those same things to this day, or has it like mellowed in any way?
No, that's my biggest problem with, like, for example, now the fact that I have kids, I'm a fantastic father. Like, being a father is my life. I love my kids so much. But there are times where I don't pay as much attention to them because I'm constantly on my phone and I'm constantly doing real estate and I'm constantly doing music. And these little human beings just want to show me something silly. And
Right.
sometimes I can't do that, or they want to play with me. They're just dying to play with me. And the thing that tortures me about that is that I know that one day they're gonna want to just play with just their friends, and I'm gonna want to fucking do something with them, and they're gonna be like, I can't. I gotta go to this thing with Melissa or Chris or something, and
Fucking
I'm gonna
Melissa.
yeah, right. And I'm gonna be sad. And but you know, my thing is that when I don't work hard and I feel like I'm not working around the clock, I start to panic because I feel like I'm gonna fail. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I'm like a fucking shark that just keeps swimming because I get really anxious when I'm not doing anything. It makes me feel like I'm failing, and I just can't do that. It's like I've always worked on a you eat what you kill basis. So I've always worked really crazy.
Absolutely. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. We got some more questions. Let's see. This is, I don't even know if you can answer this, but what is your favorite song that you've done? Asks Big Zizzo. I mean, like, do you go back and think about your old stuff even, or is
Yeah.
it kind of okay?
I think my favorite song, a couple of my favorite songs, because I can't just say just one, but my all-time dream favorite song is my song with Pete Rock and Pharaoh, I Keep On. Like that's like that's my, like, probably my number one dream song. Like if I could tell my younger self and play what I accomplished with it, I would have lost my mind. And then another one of my favorite songs, no one would guess in a million years, but I have this song called Summer of Sin, and it's just my favorite because it's like the most quintessential thing I could have made to represent where I'm from. I'm
Right.
talking about local shit. I'm talking about a certain vibe and energy. I love the beat. I love the sample that I used, and the way that I'm rapping, the things I'm saying, it's real slick. And it's just it's a record that I love. But I mean, not to sweat myself, but there's a lot of my records I'm very proud of that I made. You know.
I mean, that's not sweating yourself. I mean, like that. I think if you're an artist, if you're not proud of a lot of your records, then like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
You gotta love it. So that makes sense. Let's see. This is a question from Coffee Bear. Who is a producer or rapper we'd be surprised to hear you worked with? Is there anybody that like is there one that people like maybe only the diehards would really know about, or there's like an oddball of somebody in there?
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realized I produced a Nas remix and rapped on it too, which was, and I got paid to do that. Like they paid me to the what the fuck is it? The what is that?
What I don't know what you.
I'm trying to think. It's some remix, the reinterpretation or reanimation remix or something like that. Regeneration remix. I got paid by them to do that, and then they picked they asked me to put a verse on it too. So that was official. I think a lot of people think I made that or it wasn't official.
It was sanctioned. It was sanctioned.
Yeah. Right. It was sanctioned, and I think people would be surprised to know that I worked with Busta Rhymes. I don't think people knew I really worked with Busta. I feel like there's a lot of behind the scenes shit that I did that they don't really know about.
Yeah, I mean, again, you have such a deep catalog that like it's. If you're not really keeping up on everything, I can see how that could, slip by. All right, here's a question from DJ Equal. If you could go back and give yourself advice around the time you started gaining a fan base, what would you tell a young App?
Around a time where to tour more, to just get in the van and go, just fucking go to cities and start to develop touring. I would tell myself to do that. And if I could go back in time and tell young App anything, it would be to, in 2012, invest all of your money in Bitcoin. That's what I would say. But
Yeah.
nah, I would tell young App just to invest more in yourself and just get in the van and go to more cities, because I feel like Self and I started touring later than we should have. You know, we should have, when we saw you know, when we were friends back in the day and we were peers with Slug and everybody, all those guys were getting in the van and just going out. Sage Francis, they were going to Scribble Jam, and we were just so concerned about like New York and the East Coast and maybe Europe. I just wish we would have paid more attention to the rest of the country and in Canada and shit like that. And it took us a minute to catch up with doing that, which was, I think, a big mistake.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you live and you learn. Obviously, there's different approaches too, but it's not like I could see at that time it might not have necessarily seemed like a very prescient move. It's like you guys are driving out to like Iowa and doing shows like in the middle of nowhere. Like, why the fuck would you do that? It does seem like, you know, it seemed like a risky move. Obviously, they sort of built something off of that, but focusing on the major markets, it's not like that was a dumb move either. It's not like you guys were like, you know, fucking up or just like, nah, we don't want to do that. You're like, so I get it.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I wish you know, all those there's so many markets that ended up being supportive of us, like Los Angeles, and like somebody just said Toronto, and all of these places end up being so magnificently huge for us. I just wish we started way earlier.
Yeah, yeah. We got time for, I think, maybe one more. So let's see. This is a cool one. When you're doing an Army of the Pharaohs track, how do you decide who goes where in the song? This is the nuts and bolts on hip hop song making. Yeah, like how does that work?
Paz sends out the beat to everybody. Everybody records vocals separately, and then we just send everything back, and Paz has everything arranged and everything mixed. And sometimes I'm surprised to hear that I went first, or you know, or sometimes, here's a funny thing, because we do it that way, there have been times in like, let's say like if me and Self go out on the road and we're used to starting you know, like, because obviously not all of us are together, so there'll be a version where like we start and I just start rapping right off the bat, because I technically would be the first. But there's times where we've all gotten together, and then like Crip was supposed to start, but then I just come. There's been times where I've crashed in over him, because like Self raps and I'm used to rapping right after Self, and then I go, but it was supposed to be Crip's turn, so I'm not used to the fucking thing. So it's a pain in the ass. I got vocals right here on my desktop that were supposed to be for Army of the Pharaohs joints that I don't think ever made it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wow. I mean, yeah, that totally makes sense. Just muscle memory of hopping in and just being like, oh, rap.
Right. I felt so bad. I did it specifically. I think we were in Long Beach at the observatory. Is that Long Beach? And
or Santa Ana.
Okay,
Yeah,
right. And we were doing a fucking Army of the Pharaohs show, and I just came in with the vengeance, and it was supposed to be Crip's part. Then I just smashed in over him, but I could tell the way he did it. I had to keep going though, and I was like, "Fuck!" in my head. I'm like, "God, fucking damn it!"
Guys, if the group ever breaks up, we know why. It's just like, yo, man, you gotta stop stepping on my verses. What the fuck?
Word.
Listen, App, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. We had a great time.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, we appreciate you. When is the album dropping? Did you have a release date on that?
Yeah, May. I don't know the exact date. I think I forget I think it's like May 17th. We haven't announced it yet, but I'm pretty much sure it's like May 17th. It's close to my daughter's birthday, so that's how I remembered it. But Where the River Meets the Sea. It's an incredible album. The fucking shit is gonna be amazing. I'll show you the album cover right here.
Woo, exclusive, maybe. I don't know.
No, it's not exclusive, but
all right, fine. It's not exclusive. Not exclusive.
Not exclusive. That's it.
Yeah.
So, and we're gonna have vinyl. We're repressing Honky Kong this year. We're doing a special edition. Then we're also gonna do we're going to drop this other album called King of Gods No Second, which is me and Stu Bangers. and that's the one with Jadakiss and Black Thought, and I got Esoteric on there, self-titled, RJ Payne. It's a monster fucking album. So,
you know, you're very prolific. I would say that you're not very apathetic at all. Do you ever feel like maybe that was a misuse of a name, or like...
Nah, because at the time I took it on for a specific reason, and it's a whole story behind it. But I definitely took it for a specific reason. And I mean, sometimes I am apathetic about certain shit, but you know, not as like a general 24/7 mood. But yeah, I took it because my father had told me about the word in like 1993 or sometime around there, and I thought the word was very profound and it really bugged me out. So I took it on for two reasons. Because apathy means lack of emotions or lack of feelings. So I took it as a play on words like, yo, I'm not feeling y'all. I'm not feeling you rappers. I'm apathetic. And then the other thing, too, is that the word was so profound and it was so crazy to me thinking about the world being apathetic that I was like, maybe this will be a talking point. Because apathy, the word is popular now. Like, regardless of me, the word apathy is used a lot. Back in the 90s, no one knew what the fuck that word was. No one ever heard of that word.
It was more like esoteric. Not esoteric the rapper, but esoteric the word. It was
right,
like an esoteric word.
Yeah, it was just a word nobody really fucking knew like that. So, you know, that's part of the reason why I took on that name too.
All right. Well, we snuck in a little bonus question there. But Apathy, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you, brother.
Go peep the album when it drops in May, and you know, keep up to date with everything he's got going on. He's prolific, he's driven, he knows his hip hop, and he's on Clubhouse a lot. So check him out.
Word.
All right, peace out.
All right, Sean. All right.